Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, You Talk Episode 7. With me today, Anisaira Sabutri, and here, my beautiful guest,
Khadija Traore.
Yeah, it's a very unique name. I know it's hard to mention.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
so yeah, Hadija, she's my friend. She's been my classmate for the past 2 years. Is it?
Yeah.
We took some classes together, and then, as you know, she's from Africa, and she's what I can tell about her. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She's so smart. She's lovely, and that's why the reason why we invited her today. And for today, we're gonna talk about something very interesting, something I never come up before, which is what African says about Africa. So, did you ever wonder why did I come up with this idea?
I think you're curious.
Yes, I'm curious.
Yeah,
correct.
I think she's very curious because I know that about her. Yeah, actually, I think that's the reason.
Okay,
why
that's the okay for her because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Honestly, what happened is that I think 2 months ago, it was in the class, Modern History of Europe class,
Okay.
and with Dr. Hairil. And in the middle of nowhere, we were talking about European societies, and then he suddenly come up with he was talking about slavery, but then he said slavery in Africa, but then he said, you know what, African is the most blessed nation on earth. And it just stuck in my mind, like, why did he say about this? Previously he was talking about slavery in Africa, and suddenly he come up with this word. And then I start Googling and everything, and yes, African is the most blessed country. But why the reality bring us to this world right now? Like, what I see right now is African is so unjust to the Africans, and African is just being. I think African is still under colonization. That's what I think. So that's the reason why I want to come up with this idea. And today, Khadija will share with us a lot of things you've never heard about Africa, probably. So, Khadija, just start with something very simple one. What do you think about? What do you know? Tell us what we don't know about African that we should know, such as the hidden facts, their resources, their cultures, their politics, and everything. Tell us. Let us know.
To begin with, I would like to clarify that Africa is a continent.
African is a continent.
Yeah, Africa is a continent. It's not a country.
Well, okay. Okay, I mentioned African countries.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, not for you.
Okay, no,
but for our viewers.
Okay, for
because
viewers.
most people have asked like, oh, Africa is a country and stuff like that. So you wonder, like, you need to go back and check because it's not. It's a really huge continent that has a lot of countries, about 52 countries, and each country is unique in its own way. Like you said, it's rich.
It's rich.
The soil is rich with resources.
It is.
Like every resources you can think about, it's literally there, and they have it in abundance. But why is all this hidden? Why don't we see it? It's because we are not putting it into good use. Okay, and the fact that we are not putting it into good use, it doesn't go out internationally. People don't see it outside, as in, oh my God, this is what Africa has. So in the status quo, all that you see is the fact that, Africa is a poor country, poverty is killing them. Yeah, it's true. There's poverty. Even though they have those resources, there is poverty and it's killing people. It's true, it's there. But the fact that the leaders are not doing what is supposed to be done, the fact that we are not using our resources the way we're supposed to do it, we're still behind. We're lacking behind a lot. And this is one of the problems why you people don't see the difference, as in what Africa is. We tend to see, the economical area only, the issues that's happening economically. This is all that we see. But apart from that, it is full of people who love each other. Really, yes.
In the African itself.
In Africa itself, it's a place where you never feel lonely.
Why do you say that?
Because people are, I wouldn't say people are jovial. They are open. Even they don't like you're an outsider or something like that.
You will say that if I come to Africa, like I will feel like I'm home.
You will feel like that. If I tell you this, you have to believe it. You will feel like you are home. Because this is how they treat you. As in, you are not an outsider, you're one of us. Every country has the issues when it comes to foreigners, but they have least issue when it comes to foreigners. Because they accept them. They welcome you. they want you to know their culture. They want you to know how they live, you know. And they don't mind that they don't have much, but that small, maybe the small thing they have, they tend to share. So this is something very unique about my country, which I love so much and I miss so much. So yeah.
And how about the cultural, like Dr. Haril also mentioned that African nations, they have like 1,000 languages, like
Yes.
the original scriptures, and then cultural songs, languages that other nation doesn't have that much.
True.
So maybe you can share a
Let's
bit.
say, for example, in one country you can have about 10 ethnic groups, and each ethnic group with a different language, different culture from the next one. So like you can imagine how huge that is. They speak different language, totally different. You have to learn it actually, as in you're living in the country and you want to learn the next language. This is how it happens. And they have different culture when it comes to marriage, when it comes to the way they deal with people, when it comes to their food. Each culture also, each like ethnic, they have their own type of food. So they have general foods also that everyone, you know, is okay with. And the fact that you know this other culture's food, it end up being your own food also. But they do have like, let's say for example, the Maninka in my country, they will be like they have a food named Dumra. this is their sign. Like that food is made for them. They are the owners. And then you have the Wolof, they have something called Benachi. It's like jollof rice. So this is their own. You see? So you see the difference, all of them. But the fact that they all live together, they're still okay, even though some countries do have the problem of the tribal issue, blah 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 blah. But they end up trying to live together anyway. Yeah, so you have that, you have the lot of resources. But certain countries also, let's say for example, certain countries don't have much. Where I grew up, we don't have resources. Maybe the only resources we have is groundnut, and that you have to plant and has to grow.
But let's say like African nations in general, they are rich. They are so rich with minerals, with coal, with agriculture,
oil,
everything, with culture, everything. So yeah. So thank you for sharing to us about that. And now, with all these resources and potential that Africa has, what do you think that in this modern world, in this 2000 and almost 20, what do you think that Africa can actually achieve in the international arena, in sense of compete with other regions?
First of all, I feel like for a country to be able to compete in the international arena, the country itself should be strong.
Should be strong.
Yeah,
that's a key point.
It should be strong economically. It should be strong socially, educational wise. In every aspect that will make it be able to compete with the international world, it has to be strong. So the problem right now about African countries is that we're still not strong in this, in these areas. Like for example, education is very important, but most kids are not going to school. They don't even have schools in their, in their community. Let's say for example.
Tell us why.
Most of the time, these countries, these places, it's because of maybe war has happened in this place before, and they're still finding they have to get back on their feet. And some of these places, it's because the leader does not just care about this particular area. You get it? So they don't try to invest anything, in this place. But this is something I think in a country the most important thing is education, because when everyone is educated, this is the point where development starts. But if education is still lacking behind, then there's still a long way to go. So the reason why the West and Asia and stuff like that, you see them, they've moved forward so fast is because of education. Because a lot of people are educated, so they can give back to the society. It doesn't mean that like Africans are not giving back to society, but when they work, you see they work only for their survival, as in, put shelter on their head, eat food and stuff like that. But when you see other countries, they work for other things also. You get it?
Like you will say that African they survive just how to live, but not how to compete.
Yes, I feel like this is very strong there. Even though people are trying to divert, you see people are studying a lot. People are going out to study. People are going to schools, but it's not compared to the majority of people who have not, studied anything, who are illiterate, they don't know anything. So this is a huge issue. I feel like this is one of the main reasons why we cannot, even though we have the resources, we have everything, but if you don't know how to use it.
So you will say that education is the obstacle. Education is something that's missing from Africa.
Yeah.
So let's say if African is educated well enough for now, and then let's say it's just improved in terms of educational wise, what do you think Africa can achieve with all this potential? If the if this problem is if this education problem has been tackled. Yeah.
The thing is, Africans are smart people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are very smart,
Okay.
mashallah. And so I feel like when they have the education, they know how to take certain things and turn it into something else. As in take their resources and turn it into something else that will be beneficial for their country and for the outside world. Because let's say, for example, they have this how do they call this thing in English? I forgot the resources, but it's a very important resource. Okay, they have coal, they have oil. If they just know how to, handle it and take it and make it very important until the international world will want it from them, then it will become important. But okay, they have oil, but the international world knows how to take it from them without even their consent, maybe, let's say, for example. So that is a problem.
So yeah, there's a huge gap in Nigeria. What I see, like between the rich and the poor. When it comes to the rich, they are so extremely rich, but when it comes to the poor, it's a very poor one.
Yeah.
So how is it possible?
The reason behind this is that most of the people that you see are extremely rich. They are really connected with the government. So most of them are even ministers and stuff like that. They are extremely rich. They live lavish lives and everything. But the problem is they don't give back to society. They do not give back to society. This is the reason why there's this gap. The gap is really huge, and especially the leaders, when they are corrupt, it's only for themselves. They help themselves and their government, the people that are working for them and stuff like that. They only help those people, make their own businesses improve, give them all the oil, and they are the ones in the oil business.
So in order, if you want to get rich in Nigeria, you need to cooperate with the government.
Of course, we all know that. You have to be. You need to be able to cooperate with the government. You yourself will go for the government.
So what's the reason that why this government, after all the resources they take, all the wealth they take from the countries, they don't want to give back to the people? Like at least okay, some other countries, there's a lot of corrupt countries in the world, but the leaders still give something back to the people. Why this African doesn't want to do that?
I call it selfishness. That's it.
Is this a stereotype that all African leader has?
This is the problem. I don't even understand why all of them have it. But some people, when you enter into power, you love it so much that you misuse it. I feel most of them, this also happens to them. Like they start misusing the power they have because they feel like it's the power they have in their hands. Then you can do whatever you want to do. Everything about the country is literally in your hands. So when they are corrupt to the point that they cannot give to the society at all, just for themselves, this is selfishness.
So if you realize that these people is selfish and this selfishness cannot be cured, why don't you think that the other society, maybe the youth, they need to rebel and then just replace all of these leaders and born a new one? Because it's already an epidemic for the leaders.
True, but rebelling against a leader has a lot of
Consequences?
Yes. So when you think about a country that they already have issues surviving, if you rebel, it makes it worse. It can make it worse to the point that you people cannot handle it anymore. You get it? Because once you start rebelling, the government will rebel back.
It will just end up like Syria.
Yeah, they will just start shooting, killing, because he doesn't want. What if he doesn't want to leave the government?
Okay, I'm sorry to ask this. So, I assume that African, they better live in this life, either to fight for their rights, however it will end up into a more chaotic situations or into a better. So the question is will be, you African still doesn't have that courage to fight over the government.
Some have the courage, some do not have the courage. But if, like, let's say for example, if some of them are lucky, they do have the courage to do it, they might be lucky and it won't be chaotic. But we all know that it's more to chaos than not.
So you guys know what will happen.
Exactly.
So better just stay like this.
It's not better. Okay, it's better to stay like this than having your kids die, having yourself die, having people being killed, innocent lives just like that.
But don't you think to get something, to achieve something,
what I'm saying is
sacrifices is needed?
There are different ways that this can be changed rather than going for being rebellious.
Which is?
Because rebellious is just like the last point. It's literally
it's the last option.
It has to be the last option, exactly. That's why we have, the elections, So let's try to have, electoral commissioner like directors that are sincere, that are always trying to help the people. So if that happens, if they are not like siding with the government, then they can help their people to get the government out of its position.
So you still believe to achieve peaceful, to achieve a better African, African wanna go through the peaceful means.
Yeah. I think it's even better for us to go through the peaceful means. We have already gone through a lot to still go through war.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So this is what
that's wise. So in general about Eritrea, corruption, South Sudan and Liberia, it's chaotic everywhere. And I would like to compare so much with what happened in the Western, like what happened in European countries. Whenever there's a small problems, for example, shooting, okay, it's not a small problem, but for example, they just kill like one person, or two people dead.
True.
And it will just boom all over the world.
Becomes an international
issue. Everyone will change the hashtag. They will change the status and everything. And celebrities will speak out about it, and philanthropists will talk about it. But why, when it comes to Africa, they don't do the same thing? Why there's no
I feel what I will say is that it's neglected. This is one issue which I actually believe personally. It is very neglected.
The world neglect Africa.
Yeah, and I feel like even Africans themselves neglect themselves. Okay, right? Because before you want outsiders to acknowledge what's happening in your place, you yourself, as in the person there, should acknowledge this first. Africans are all over social media, okay? And they themselves will be part of those people that will help the Westerners in hashtagging.
True.
Okay? Why don't you start hashtagging your own self first? The problems that are happening in your continent. Why don't we try to hashtag those problems first? And then we will hashtag other people's problems. Okay, you will, of course, the Western people already feel like they're powerful, more than everyone in the world. So it's more than normal for one death to feel like the death of everybody. Okay, you get it? So, but the fact that Africa is already a continent that has been put aside, I consider it as it has been put aside because it's not in the same level as the competing countries right now. So of course it has been placed aside. So how can this change? It's a problem.
It should start from within.
But it should start from within.
And the people doesn't help.
Yeah.
So you were saying that it's happened because the Africans they don't help. They don't help to make it viral. They don't help to make the world know about this, right? So okay, from after all of our discussions, what message you would say to the world, especially to the African youth, to the government, to the international, and also to the media?
What I would tell the African youth is that they should support each other. They should study hard and not think about having money in the easiest illegal way. They should focus on trying to create a career for themselves. They should focus on helping each other in becoming better in the society. And yeah, they should study. This is very important. And the earlier we, you know, accept that it's important, the better it will be for them as a youth. And they should take up any like how do you call it? That not only entrepreneurship, but other things that can lead to being an entrepreneur. They should make use of it. Make use of the natural resources in order to, create something else. People are doing it.
And maybe regarding the issues that's going on in Africa, instead of keep talking, start
Yeah.
doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before you talk, like people criticize a lot. Africans are like people who love to criticize. It's like they worship it.
They love to talk.
But they love to criticize a lot, but they do nothing about what they criticize. When you are criticizing, at least do something
So
about it.
they don't try to make change.
Yeah.
They're hoping someone else may do the
Exactly.
change.
And change starts from you yourself. That is criticizing what you don't like. Try to change it.
Mhm.
When you do that, then you have done something. But when you criticize, it's nothing. It's just words, empty words. That's all it's gonna be.
So how about your message to the government, African government?
So the African government, they should know that they are not placed there as leaders for themselves. They are placed there as leaders because the people chose them for them to lead them, for these people to lead them. So when you are placed there, take up your responsibility because you are not just placed there for your own selfish reasons.
You're not up there for yourself.
Exactly, you're not there for yourself. You're there for the people and for the country. So do what you can to help them. Of course, they are not saying that you're gonna overnight change the whole country to something else, but it's gradual. But that gradual, do it. Even if you're gonna be a corrupt leader, be a leader that thinks of giving back to society, giving back to its community. Not be the leader that only thinks about himself, doing for himself and forgetting the people. And of course, you are placed there for a reason. So they should hold up that responsibility.
Last message to the world. To the world.
To the world is that people should not neglect Africa because they think it's poor. It's not poor. It's rich in resources, but it's just that we do not have, we have not figured out how to make this, beneficial to us ourselves. So we should not neglect this. Africans are good people. Yes, okay, we have issues, but we are good people. And the international world should try to help us, not try to take from us all the time. So this is what I have for them.
So thank you so much, Khadija, for coming to our conversation today.
Thank you for having me.
It's so wonderful for having you, and thank you for your information that you give to us. That it's opened up my mind as well. I didn't know about Gambia was a dictatorship countries, and hopefully what we trying to the message is trying to deliver to the people, to the Africans, to the government. You will get it, and you also reconsider what you should have done, what you should start doing. Even though we are not African, but still, they are the population of the earth. They are our brother and sister. We need to start thinking about it.
Sure.
So, thank you again for coming.
Thank you
And
so
hopefully, this is just an opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone can have different opinion.
Exactly.
So you are free to open up your opinion. So just comment below whatever your opinion is, and you can reach out to Khadija as well to have a private conversation.
Yes.
No problem with that. And thank you so much for watching us. So you talk, it's the time for you to talk.